The market just had a stellar week. We saw a huge gap up followed by a gap and go move. This is exactly what we're looking for whenever we are investing in the markets, right? Now, I am a professional investor competing in the US Investing Championship, and I want to take a look at the most talked about, the most traded stocks this week, according to bar chart, and give you a professional investor's opinion if these stocks are worth your time and your money. And I'll be 100% transparent with you. Some of these I actually bought on Friday, which I am very excited about. Very excited about. So let's start at the top. First, we need to always start with the market. Why do we always start with the market? Well, because the market's the most important thing that we can look at, right? If the market is strong, it just makes everything easier, right? A rising tide lifts all ships, and a falling tide shows who's swimming naked. Now, what we see here is a bullish trend on the market. The 10 crossed over the 20, price crossed over the 50 on Thursday, which is exactly what we want to see. 10 over 20, price over 50 on the market. So we also have a buy signal on the market. That's a great start, right? Looking at a bullish trend with a buy signal on the market, that's exactly where we want to be. Next, let's jump into market breadth. We have had a huge breadth thrust in multiple directions, okay? Multiple directions. Let me show you first. The market itself is showing more more buy signals, less sell signals. The market is showing more uptrends overall, less downtrends overall. And this is over the 9,000 stocks that we cover in Outlier. And every single sector, with the exception of energy, is showing to have bullish breadth on the number of stocks with buy signals and less downtrends and more uptrends. Breadth is out of control right now. This is exactly where you want to be. So all of these stocks that we take a look at today are going to have a lot going for them. So let's go back to here. Now, the SPY does have an outlier block on top of it. The S&P 500 does have an outlier block right here. And this is an area of resistance overhead. So we might have an issue if we run into this. But then again, this is an area of trapped buyers who want to be sellers when they get back to break even. If the buyers overwhelm the sellers at this point, we're looking at new all-time highs. That is bullish AF. So we've looked at the market. Now let's start breaking it down into these individual names. And first on the deck is Nvidia. Nvidia here. Can Nvidia out-innovate geopolitical uncertainty towards a $5 trillion valuation, right? Nvidia is a unique stock in the AI landscape because of its exceptionally strong position as a market leader in developing AI infrastructure through its GPUs, right? Nvidia has been moving largely sideways since Q3 of 2025. In fact, let's go to the Nvidia chart right here. It has been moving sideways really since October, right? We can go all the way back to August. Since August, Nvidia has been moving sideways. But you'll notice down here, we've had a lot of support in this area with our outlier block showing us where that support is at. Now, let's get back to the story over here. Despite this, Nvidia is still an exceptionally strong, innovative pipeline to support an AI ecosystem that the World Economic Forum estimates will contribute to 14% of global GDP by 2030, and a $5 trillion market cap could be in sight for Nvidia. That may be the case because guess who just bought some? Your boy Chris, this guy right here, just bought Nvidia with both hands and both feet, right? This is exactly what I've been waiting for, and it's exactly what just showed up today. We have 8 of 9 on here. I actually prefer the order blocks inside of TradingView to the ones inside of Outlier, but this is exactly what we want to see. So we got that buy signal. It's getting less greedy. Less fearful, more greedy. That's what this is showing down here. The tech sector is getting more greedy, less fearful. The sector has more buy signals and more uptrends and less downtrends overall this week. So it is a huge momentum boost for a stock like Nvidia, and that's why I bought it on Friday. And let's go to the next one here. The next stock on the list is Palantir. Now, Palantir has had its huge run. Palantir had a giant run last year, but it may not hold up at this point anymore. It may not hold up. In fact, the Motley Fool says the billionaire that predicted the Anthropic crush. Wait a minute. This billionaire just predicted Anthropic would crush Palantir. Could already be happening, right? So Michael Burry is betting against Palantir, the deep analytics company best known for its AI platform. Burry bought long-dated put options on the tech stock in the third quarter. He spent roughly $9 million to do so. This week, he stepped up his attack on Palantir, saying in a now deleted X post that Anthropic is eating Palantir's lunch. And that came after Anthropic said its new Claude Mythos AI can identify software vulnerabilities and is too powerful to be released. Seemed to have a huge impact on Palantir. Let's go look at Palantir's chart real quick. Yeah, Palantir is definitely struggling here. Look at this. This has been in a downtrend for a hot minute, but it did find some support. You can't tell me outlier blocks don't work. Look at this. This support that was created in May of 2025 was the exact low from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles right here. And then another candle bounced into it, wicked down into it, and it has found some support on the way up. That's actually pretty cool, isn't it? Pretty cool. By the way, you can make your charts look exactly the same as my charts. Just pick up Outlier in our Discord. You can have these exact outlier blocks on your charts 100% free for our Outlier customers. So let's go to the Outlier platform here. And yeah, it's not looking so good. So where's the sell signal hiding from me? Yeah, the sell signal came a few days ago on March 30th on Palantir, and it's not looking so good, right? It's bucking the trend that we see up here. 40% of the move is due to the stock, is due to the market. 30% is due to the sector, and the last 30% due to the stock itself. And it's not looking so good. It's not looking so good. So Palantir is certainly not on my radar, not one that I'm buying. How about the next one here? What about Intel? Have you seen Intel's chart? Holy goodness. By the way, the outlier buy signal came back here on April 6th. We'll talk about that in a minute, but how much has it grown since that point? 23%. By the way, I talked about this on Tuesday last week. Receipts are on YouTube. I was running through the charts and I came to Intel. I was like, ooh, that looks really good. That looks super good. Why does it look so good? Because it's pushing higher. That's what you want to see. You want to buy high and sell higher. Now, if you're one of those investors who say, no, that's not right. You got to buy low and sell high. Unfortunately, you don't know where low is, right? Because a lot of investors are looking at SoFi saying, man, I better buy low and sell high. And unfortunately, they've lost about 40% of their investment, since the sell signal came through. So trying to time the bottom, it's next to impossible. And you might be saying to yourself, well, that's fine. I'll dollar cost average on the way down. First off, we never know if it's ever going to come back, ever. Second, this is crazy. But if you dollar cost average on the way down versus dollar cost average on the way up at the exact same price, here's the crazy thing. Your average price is exactly the same down to the penny. So you get to choose. Do you want to run on the curve on the way up and make your average price going up and it is to profitability that much faster? Or do you want to buy it and hope and pray that it finally finds that bottom and turns around? Yeah, I know what I'm going to do. And that's how I'm doing well in the US Investing Championship. Let's keep going here. Intel here. Intel stock hasn't been this hot in 38 years. It now has renewed lease on life. And as Intel stock rises for the 8th session in a row, one analyst notes that the company seems to have a renewed lease on life. By the way, this little thing right here, 6 months ago, we were questioning the company's existence. Shut the front door. No, you weren't. The company has struck a recent partnership agreements that have investors excited. Plus, while central processing use, so CPUs, were once seen as somewhat of an afterthought in the AI era, these chips are now in hot demand, and Intel is a major manufacturer of them. In fact, I have an Intel CPU in this rig that I got right now. Intel's partnership with Elon Musk Terafab, which aims to manufacture chips for Tesla, xAI, and SpaceX, could end up winning the chip maker some business. And earlier this week, Intel announced a deepening of its work with Google. Uh-oh. I bought Google today. I bought Google on Friday. Well, I'm just saying, I'm just putting that out there. I bought Google as one of the stocks that I put on to provide future generations with its Xeon processors. And everything that I'm doing, by the way, in the US Investing Championship is linked down below 100% for free. My trading plan is there for free. It's a Google Sheets document or a Google Slides document. Click it, you got it. There's no paywall, no nothing. You click it, you got it forever. My every single trade that I'm putting on this year is also linked down below in a Google Sheets document. Take it. Use it. Go be successful with it. And then hit the like and hype button. Hit the like and hype button. It actually does make a difference. And that's the way that you can pay me back. If I'm helping you at all, the way that you can pay me back is by hitting the like and hype button. Now let's go look at Intel over here. There's that buy signal came through and it's up, what did I say, 20 something percent? Let's go back to Intel here. 23% in a matter of a few days. And it demolished that order block. absolutely destroy that order block. And that is what you want to see. When the buyers overwhelm the sellers that were stuck in this since, holy goodness, since February, March of 2022, right? That outlier block had been there for 4 years and the buyers overwhelmed any sellers at that point. But it does have some overhead resistance up ahead, just so we're clear. Going back to this, it's all 9 of 9. All 9 of 9. This is exactly what I'm looking for when I look at stocks. What about it, Nokia? And you're probably asking, well, why didn't you get it now? It's too late for me. My signals last up to 5 days. This is past that point. What about Nokia? Nokia is now on the list. Nokia? Dude, my middle school son, the legend of the Nokia phone is real. Have you guys heard, have your kids talked about this? Mine, we were talking about it one day in the car, and he was like, you had a Nokia phone? What, was it indestructible? Of course I did, son. Don't you understand? I was one of those cool guys back in my day, right? I mean, not anymore. Nokia moves 6.7% higher. Will this strength last? The uptrend was largely attributed to a healthy momentum with its focus areas on software and enterprise. Nokia is poised to benefit from copper and fiber deployments of passive optical networking. It's the only global supplier that is offering O-RAN with commercial 5G cloud RAN networks. Nokia is also expanding its IP routing business to the data center market, and Apple has reportedly deployed its technology at its data centers. Okay, so there's a lot of good stuff underneath the surface for Nokia. Let's see if this is a stock worth buying. I'll tell you what. That sure does look good. You've got 9 of 9 going on over here for Nokia. It's getting more greedy. The sector's working in its direction. That's the tech sector again. And that buy signal just came through today. So you get the choice. Are you going to take this buy signal? Let me know in the chat down below. Let me know. Put some notes on here. Let me know in the chat down below. Are you looking at Nokia? I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but at some point in time, I decided to draw that fancy line on there. Maybe, just maybe, Nokia will be a huge winner. How about the next stock? Coreweave. All right, Coreweave is our next stock up here. Coreweave rockets 12% on an Anthropic deal. Okay, 2 landmark contracts in 2 days for the AI cloud king. Coreweave stock jumped in a multi-year cloud computing deal with Anthropic to power Claude AI models, the second major contract in 2 days. Okay, Coreweave is on fire, but it's not a very old company. It's like a couple years old, and unfortunately, we need 5 years of data at the minimum for Outlier. So what we can look at right here is it's got a lot of momentum in its favor, right? But I don't have a signal, and I don't have the fear and greed for Coreweave itself. So let's just jump into the Coreweave chart, CRWV. And this is exactly what you want to see. You want to be buying strength, right? You don't want to buy the dip. We talked about this earlier because you don't know how far it can dip. And by the same logic, the same reasoning, I need you to understand, you do want to buy the rip because you don't know how high it's going to rip. And I certainly am interested in picking up a stock just like Coreweave right here. Let's go to the next one. What's on our list here next is Plug Power. Here's why Plug Power stock is a buy before April 16th. Hey, it's before April 16th right now. Plug Power is a leading developer of hydrogen charging technologies, blah, blah, blah. It was in trouble 2 years ago with revenue dropping, losses were widening, and macro headwinds were driving companies to pause their hydrogen projects. Yet over the last 12 months, Plug stocks rallied 130%, revenue rose, it narrowed its losses, and the hydrogen market stabilized. Let's be real here. Has it really how many hydrogen powered cars do you guys have? Right. Let's be realistic here. The answer is probably 0. From 2025 to 2028, analysts expect the revenue to grow another 18% compound annual growth rate, which is not much, as the company cuts costs with its Project Quantum Leap. It expects its adjusted earnings to turn positive in the fourth quarter of this year. Okay, cool. So it's got some positive momentum here on the news stories. What about the stock itself? Hey, not so bad, not so bad. Now, granted, this is a $2 stock. Here's the thing. Cheap stocks are cheap for a reason. Expensive stocks are expensive for a reason. It's a garbage stock. It's a garbage company. And right now, I am not interested in buying it. But it is turning around. It's still sitting on a sell signal. It doesn't have enough momentum inside of Outlier to flip that to a buy signal just yet. But Plug Power is not one that I would be risking my money on. What's the next on the list here? NEO. The one? NEO? Is this the Matrix? NEO stock jumped 6% in its first ever GAAP profit and near doubling of Q1 deliveries. NEO stock rose 6% on Friday, climbing from a prior close As investors shared a pair of milestones that bulls have been waiting for years to see. The first ever quarterly GAAP profit and nearly doubled its deliveries in a quarter when the broader Chinese auto market actually fell. Okay, let's take a look at NIO. NIO, with the buy signal, came through on April 1st, looking pretty good. However, one headwind that has right now is it's not getting more greedy. It's actually getting a little bit less greedy, slightly more fearful. Everything else, though, is looking good for it. Let's go look at the NIO chart real quick. NIO, yeah, it's created a new order block right here. It closed inside of it yesterday. It closed on top of it today on Friday. So that order block should break after this point. It doesn't quite have the momentum, right? You looked at the other charts and you've seen them running. You're looking at this one. It's very realistically, it's drifting sideways to slightly higher. Okay. So just be aware of that. Just be aware of that if you're looking to invest in NIO. What do we got next? Now, ServiceNow. ServiceNow faces more cautious outlook as UBS cites AI-driven budget pressures. What does ServiceNow do? You guys tell me. I literally don't even know what ServiceNow is. And I know someone in the comments is going to be like, I can't believe this guy doesn't know what ServiceNow is. Shut up. You really think you know everything about every company? I certainly don't, right? I'm only reading the news because you guys love it. UBS lowered its rating on ServiceNow. Oh no, from neutral to buy. Wait a minute. Lowered its rating from neutral. Oh, to neutral from, I was going to say, wait a minute, wouldn't buy be higher than neutral? To neutral from buy, saying its earlier conviction that the company was best positioned among application software firms in the AI era has weakened amid emerging signs of budget pressure in non-AI software spending. On the demand side, UBS flagged increasing signs that the enterprise customers are beginning to constrain spending on traditional software in order to prioritize AI-related infrastructure. The firm noted that half of its recent enterprise conversations included anecdotes of tighter non-AI software budgets. Well, UBS, have you ever been in a stock and some stupid jerk at a bank decided to downgrade the stock? And then, of course, you're taking the losses because some jerk off was like, no, I don't like the stock anymore. Yeah, that's happened to me several times. And that may be happening to you in ServiceNow. Let's take a look at it. Well, maybe not. This stock is looking pretty bad. This stock has been in a downtrend for at least 6 months at this point, with sell signals galore, right? The tech sector can't save something like this, right? That's why I say 40% the market, 30% the sector, and 30% the stock itself. The stock can't overcome what is happening to it right now, and it just seems to be losing money hand over fist. And UBS decided to make things worse, but you know what? What's a little bit better? I bought UBS on Friday. Oh, snap. Don't worry. I will reveal to you all of my trades that I took on Friday in just a couple of minutes here. So yeah, I just avoid ServiceNow. And last one on the board is Amazon. Okay, CEO Andy Jassy just delivered bad news for the AI bears. Oh, that must be good for AI bulls. In his annual letter to shareholders, Andy Jassy said he does not see an artificial intelligence bubble. You sure about that? You sure about that, Cotton? Furthermore, Jassy said that Amazon has strong visibility into future cash flows from the capacity of its spending hundreds of billions of dollars to install. All right, Andy Jassy, he loves some AI right now. What does the market think of Amazon? Well, the market seems to love Amazon too. It's had a huge turnaround. It's got 9 of 9. This is looking gorgeous. I love it. Why did I not buy Amazon? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's why. It does have a little outlier block right here. Just be aware of this. If you are buying Amazon, you got 1.5% before it runs into that. And the buy signal came on April 9th. So not here, but here. The buy signal came here. So from the bottom of this candle, which you could have got in at the entry of that day, I mean, you'd be up sitting pretty right now, about up 5% or so right now if you had taken that outlier buy and sell signal. Listen, outlier is 82 cents a day, okay? It is unbelievably inexpensive for the amount of data and information that you get. And I took that information today and I bought these stocks. Now, the full breakdown will come out on Monday. Look for that video. It'll come out 9 o'clock-ish Central Time on Monday. And it'll go through every stock that I bought, every option that I bought for those stocks, all my entries and all my exits. But just to tease you a little bit, I just got into Nvidia. I got into GLW. I got into UBS. I got into SKM. I got into EMBJ. I got into Lunar. I got into Google, NEM, and BCS. Now, does that mean that you should go buy these? That's totally up to you, 100% up to you. But these are the stocks that I'm in right now. I am full portfolio into these 9 stocks right now. And I am, like I said earlier, competing in the US Investing Championship. So you can see every single trade that I make live here on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe. And while you're at it, hit the like and hype button. Hey, thanks so much for joining me today. If this was useful at all, do the like and the hype. And if you're ready to save time, make money, start winning with less risk, click one of these 2 videos. We'll talk soon.